Dear Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for everything that you give me, for waking me up with the air in my lungs and with my feet working and everything healthy and my family loving me. So I want to thank you for guiding me and walking with me on this path that you've paved for me. And I pray that you continue to just bless me and prepare me for whatever you set in my path. And I pray that you just love us and you continue to bless me every single day. So, amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Just like that, Emilio Marquez, the man, the man of the
Yes,
weekend. How you
sir.
doing, brother?
How's it going, man? Good, good. And you?
I'm great. I think I'm you look good for just getting out of a title fight, and
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
excited
I'm
to bring
looking
you back.
bad.
Since the last time we had you on A Mountain Echo, both of us have grown a little bit more facial hair, but
Yeah,
yours looks clean, dog. It looks
I
good.
appreciate it. Thanks, man. I'm able to grow the beard out now, so taking advantage.
Well, you just got back from first Massachusetts, and then you flew into Colorado with some of your teammates, and then you just made it back home to
Yes,
the dirty South. How
yes,
does it
sir.
feel?
Yep. Feels good, man. Feels good to be back home. Kind of split between Colorado and New Mexico, but this is my home, and it will be forever my home.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
but it feels good to get back from the East Coast. It was such a cool experience, man. Just everything over there is so it's different. Like you don't realize it, but it is very different. And to be able to get the opportunity to go across the country and fight was really cool. So feels good to be home though.
What are the feels like? You got your little boy with you.
Yeah.
Um, Dad's a champion. What's that feel like the first time you see him? I know you're missing him.
Oh, dude, I walked in the house and literally I washed my hands real quick and then went over to his room and I told my girlfriend, let me have him, let me hold him because I missed him so much. So I fed him a bottle and we were hanging out. So I wanted to hold him while we were doing this, but he started fussing, so had to hand him off real quick.
Okay, dang it, we just missed him. But
Yeah, yeah.
no, that's got to feel amazing just to finish the fight as well. The way that you did, a lot of adrenaline. What were your thoughts? We'll go over it. We'll go backwards a little bit. But what were your thoughts as you're finishing the fight and you feel, the ref come and end it? What were those first emotions?
Oh man. Well, right before the ref ended it, dude, I knew he was done. I saw it in his face. He was just stumbling, and he really didn't. His eyes were. You could see it in their eyes. And if you notice, like right at that clip, or right at that part, I kind of
Yeah,
reassured myself.
that's
Yeah, I kind of like had to go in for the kill. I noticed he was done at that point, so I had to finish it off. I couldn't let him kind of regain his consciousness from that point because I knew that he was a dog and he wouldn't just let me put him out that easy. So once I saw it, I capitalized on it and threw that shot, and it landed perfect right there behind his ear. So
it was hard for a little bit there to see who had the advantage because I mean this was a brawl, bro, and this is
yeah,
not how you typically fight. We've said it in the past where you're more of a wrestler, and this time the
yeah,
middle finger, and
I'll
this
talk
time
about
around it was a lot more on your feet. It was a lot more going forward, and I was like, dang, this what's happening here?
yeah,
I
yes.
mean, yeah,
Basically, this camp. I mean, the past two camps, even my last fight, I wanted it to be standing like this. But that dude wanted to wrestle, and I mean, he paid for it. And then this one, I knew he was gonna come out swinging, so I was like, okay, we got a little fight on the top. Yeah, see right there. I was happy that, yeah, that was a
let's see
cool
if I can
moment,
go
dude.
back here a little bit,
Yeah, we'll come back.
right there.
But right here, I saw it right there in his face. Like
Oh yeah,
he was wobbling, dude, and I was like, oh, I gotta finish it off right here, but yeah,
do
it
you
was
got
a
the
cool
belt with
moment.
you?
Oh shoot, it's in my truck, but
Okay, already forgetting, bro. You went
yeah,
all the way over there for it.
dude, I know. Honestly, like all my career, my wrestling career too, I never really liked to keep my medals, if I'm being honest. Like a
Really?
little fun fact, yeah, I used to put my medals in a shoebox and just leave it in my closet.
That's
So,
crazy.
yeah.
And so the elevation was definitely different. What was the preparation like? This one's everything was different because you're not doing necessarily like you're not a full-time fighter. You're working, you're doing, now you're a dad, you were expecting, and now you're back in cruises. So what was the preparation like for this? How did you have to balance your day and your week?
Yeah, so last time I was on the podcast, I remember telling you guys I was working day in day out, man. And this was obviously before I had my son. So I'd wake up every morning, 4:30. You know, I was used to a work routine, and then going to work out, work, and then work out again in the afternoon. Right. This one was like a lot different because I've been off of work actually, and well, I'm out of the army now, so I kind of am full time
Okay.
fighting at the same time, but and doing school as well. So it was a little different, you know. I'd work out in the morning, come home, and just like chill with my baby and my girlfriend, and take care of everything that had to be taken care of, and then sometimes work out in the afternoon. But I kind of had to find those times where I could do that stuff, and as well as like prioritize our life here at home as well. And I did you know, I wasn't perfect. We weren't perfect, but I made it work, and it was hard. It was difficult, stressful. You know, I didn't think I was doing enough. I didn't think I was working as hard as I usually do. So I was really stressed going into this fight, you know, thinking I was gonna go out for slaughter, but you know, I think naturally I just have that fight in me, so I kind of pulled it out, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
So were you working with a coach, a gym here, or were you kind of still staying connected with the guys that you have out in Colorado? A little bit of both. How did that
So
work?
yeah, it was both. So I moved all my stuff down, and at that point, I didn't really have a team here. There's a few gyms that I go and train at here, just for mat space. You know, not really a coach, no teammates as much. There's a few random dudes here in Cruces that I train with, and I appreciate them so much for even like giving me some work. You know, but I knew I had to do something else, and so I found a team in El Paso who was actually the guy reached out to me, and he was good friends with my oldest brother, and he used to fight with him in high school and all this other stuff, you know. And he kind of took me under his wing in El Paso or Canutillo area. So and their gyms, they're called the Yokai, and we train in a it's an old airplane hangar, and they have but they have everything in there. It's a gym. They have a cage, they have bags, everything that they need. So they invited me over, and I've been training with them. Really, my main training partner here was his name's James Pleasant actually, and he's actually going to fight this weekend for a title belt in Albuquerque as
Okay.
well for APFC is the promotion over there. So he's a pro. He's a top one of the top 155 pros here in New Mexico, so it was really cool.
Is that the one at Isleta?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I saw it being promoted. Dang, I've is it Rafael? He was 18 when he did his debut for UFC. They
yeah,
started calling him Meat Meat, which is messed
yeah,
up.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yes,
I seen they've been doing advertising for that. So this Saturday he's is it a title fight or just another bout?
yeah. It'll be a title fight. I think he's either co-main or just before co-main, but it's a pro title fight for 155. Um, and that dude's a dog too. You know, I trained with him, and yeah, he gave me some really good work this camp too, and the coach as well. Adi, he helped me out a lot, man. He fixed some stuff that I really didn't even notice before. He gave me tips on like he just trained me, man. He gave me help with my base. He gave me help with some striking a little bit more as well. Just stuff that I didn't notice at all, and he took it upon himself to like point it out and just be like, "Here, we need to do this at practice." And and me and James too. James was some really good sparring rounds, dude, and those are like some one of the top pros here. So, I mean, I got that's kind of where I found home here, and got some good training with those dudes.
How do you balance that of not taking too much damage, but also not wanting to like surprise yourself when you finally get into the cage, right? Like,
Yeah,
do you ever feel like you get dinged up a couple times, or like I gotta chill out for a little bit? What's the balance?
yeah. So definitely, like, there's a build up whenever you're going through a camp. Usually at the beginning, I start my camps usually 6 to 8 weeks out, which that's just me. I want to get used to that. That's what usually pros do, and I'm just so used to that. So in the beginning, it's pretty lenient. Everything, you're healthy, you're strong, you're eating, you're doing everything. Practice is hard, sparring's hard, and for me, I typically spar about 2 to 3 times a week, which is a lot. Um, but I'm so used to it now, and I mean that's what I've been training like that for the last two couple years, so I'm kind of used to it. But yeah, whenever you take a lot of damage at practice early on in the camp, it's not too bad. You're kind of just like, all right, I got a lot of time to recover. Closer to the fight, you kind of let up. You focus more on technique. Uh, like 2 3 weeks out, you kind of more focus more on just like getting your little tips and tricks. All the small fine details out. So sparring's not as hard towards the end of camp because you don't want
Okay.
to get hurt. Yeah, you don't want to get hurt for the fight.
So, what was a lesson you think that you learned this camp? I think every time there's something that you learn different that you kind of put into your toolbox, right?
Yeah.
What was it that you figured out about yourself? You think this time around?
So I can say for this fight, man, I have to for sure not take as much damage in the next fight. I took a lot of damage. I took a lot of damage this fight, and it was small stuff like keeping my hands up, and really that was the biggest thing. My coach told me like 3 times in the fight, or like 3 times in there. He was like, "Dude, keep your fucking hands up. Like, you need to bring your hands up." And I knew it. I knew what he was telling me. I just in the moment, I kind of just had my little swagger, and that's just how I was fighting. But uh, for sure, for pros, that's something that I'm gonna take over to the pro world. It's just I need to work on keeping my hands up, a little bit more head movement, and moving around too as well. So
What's the path like for the pros? I texted before the fight and I'm like, yo, let's go. Let's put on a show for Dana White.
yeah,
But what realistically, what does that look like in your world going pro? And then there's all kinds of different promotions that are pro, right? Like we're on Saturday in Albuquerque. That is pro.
yeah,
How does that work? Is it still the same thing on someone has to essentially look at you and take a chance with you?
yeah,
What? How does
yeah.
that work?
So it's basically the same thing. So any promotion like that promotion that I was just on was a pretty big one on the East Coast. The one this Saturday is a pretty big one here in the Southwest, which is actually really cool because they don't have many here in the Southwest or in New
Hmm.
Mexico at least, right? Each region
Not yet.
has their own. Yeah, not yet. Each region has their own kind of big promotion that they put on. And once I decide to go pro, which is now, me and my team will kind of look for an opponent, and based off whatever the record, I really don't care who I fight at this point. But it's smart to fight to progress. It's not smart to go and fight someone that's fucking 10-0 is gonna whoop
Right.
my ass. For my
Right.
first pro fight, we want a good fight, but we want to, you know, uh, I guess moderate it to be, you know, in my favor in a way, and for my first couple pro fights. But something that'll show my growth in the pro world as well. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And the promotion, we got a couple promotions that we're looking for back in Colorado, either on the East Coast, here in New Mexico, here in Cruces, maybe even too. So and I'll just find someone with a pro record of close to my 0-0 or 1-0, 2-0. It don't really matter to me, but That's based on like what my coaches see and what they want me to do.
You see a lot of times guys, at least like in the UFC, that are either doing that where they're fighting two guys that are coming up will fight each other, or you'll fight somebody older who's almost on their way out. You know what I mean? Is that an option, or is that a preference that you actually want to fight somebody at your level? At this point, I mean, it's hard to say, oh, I want this guy, right? I'm not asking
Yeah.
you to call anybody out, but if
No,
you
no,
want
no.
to,
Yeah, right. No, I mean, I don't. For me, it doesn't matter who I fight, you know. Obviously, I do want to prove something. You know, if I could get someone with a decent record, and if it looks like it'd be a good matchup for me, I'll definitely take it. And that just does good for me, you know. It'll get my name out there, and it'll look good on my record that I beat a dude that had four fights, four pro fights, you know. So that would be cool. I'm just I trust my coaches though, and that's basically how I allow them to pick my fights for me because they know a lot more than I do. They see
hmm
stuff that I necessarily don't see yet. I'm not at that level, but I trust them, and then we train up for it. So that's how that basically will go for me.
I'm gonna spoon feed you this one. Who do you look up to, past or present, in the mixed martial art world that you kind of want to mimic your fight style, your preparation, your swagger? Is there someone you look up to?
Uh, for yeah, right now, I look up to like my training partners. If I'm being honest, Uh, for sure, like Isaiah Torres was one of my training partners. My coach, Jeremy Kimball. I got dudes in Colorado as well, that I've looked up to since I started. Uh, Adam Vigil is one of them too. Um, as well as, but like UFC wise and like the dudes on the big stages right now. Justin Gaethje is one of my favorite fighters. That dude always puts out big bangers.
Yep.
And so he's one of my favorites. Dustin Poirier, obviously Connor, like those dudes are everybody's favorites, but for sure inspiration from them. An older fighter that I used to love watching was Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell was probably one of my favorite fighters growing up. And then one that really he fought in the UFC, but he wasn't really good. But Kimbo Slice was like one of my inspirations too. Yeah, dude. Me and we used to watch the brawls that he used to put on, the backyard brawls that the fights that they would always have.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, me and Zeke, growing up, we would have the fights like recorded and watch them on his TV all the time. So
Kimbo Slice, he showed up for a little bit, and I remember he essentially got rolled over, right? They a rollover in the
yeah,
sense
yeah,
of it. He was a street fighter, but then they started grabbing his legs, and it was game over,
yeah,
right?
he
Yeah,
didn't have no ground game, and that's where a lot of people hate it, but it is mixed martial arts. I've kind of adopted the mentality to stand up though. Like if you guys notice when this
yeah.
fight. And that's kind of my team's mentality. They're all stand up, just bang it out. Their striking is insane. So, but it helps to have wrestling, like a wrestling background that
hmm
I do as well. So
I mean, long term, you don't take as much damage. If you would have rolled with this guy on this weekend, you wouldn't have taken the hits. Would it have been as exciting? It's like, oh, let's go. But I
yeah,
mean, I like combat. I like seeing the puzzle being solved. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And everybody's a different puzzle. And the sooner you can be as complicated as possible, and the sooner you can figure out other people, that's as successful as you can be, right? And so, I mean, having wrestling as your main background, I feel like I'm gonna assume there where that's what I knew you from. That's where I knew Zeke and all that good stuff. Um, but yeah, I'd agree that it's not as sexy. It's not as showboaty, right? But I mean, like I said, bring me Dagestan. These guys are
yeah,
just rolling, and they're
yeah,
winning championships, and that's what you need to do. And until you can beat it, it don't matter, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what my coach says too. As much as like they're strikers and they want to stand up and bang and do all that, my coach is like, win your fight. Like, especially when it comes to a title fight like that or something big on the line, you're not going to accommodate to everybody else's needs in a fight. You're going to win your fight how you know how to win a fight, right?
Yeah.
Um, Fortunately for me, you know, I wanted to prove to myself that I could get a knockout or that I could get a TKO, and all the training that I've done, led up to that point. So it felt good to show out, and it kind of surprised me too. Well, not it did, but it didn't. I knew what I had trained for and I knew what I could do, but just doing it and seeing the playbacks and everything, it's freaking cool, man. Because I can say my striking did not look like that a year and a half ago. Like, and that's how, and I'm proud of myself for that. So it's always cool to see.
Would that be Muay Thai that you need to work on, or that you were trying to work on? I'm not telling you what you need to work on, but
No,
um, the is it Muay Thai and like the striking? Do you find the guys that you worked out with, is that what they're in? Kind of what they
so
focus on more?
yeah, so my coach Jeremy Kimball, he's kind of got a Muay Thai style, like a karate kind of style,
Mm-hmm.
and but he puts his own little mix on it, and it's built for MMA, right? Um, and that dude too. If you guys get a chance to look up his highlights, like you'll understand what I'm talking about. He's
Coach
got
Kimball, what's
some,
his first name?
yeah, Jeremy Kimball.
Jeremy
His
Kimball.
nickname's Grizzly.
Write that down, people.
Yeah, right. That check him out, man. You guys will be impressed. And that's who I train with every week. Like I'm used to that style. I kind of adopted it a little bit, tried to, and it's kind of like a thugger style. Like you're gonna swing and throw some chingasos, But yeah, so that Muay Thai kind of karate style is kind of what I've adopted into my striking. A lot of boxing too. Sorry. Um, I've boxed down here in Cruces too, a little bit. Getting into it even in Colorado Springs. So it's kind of a base that you take those bases and you kind of just mix them all together in the MMA because it's not just straight boxing. Like I could get head kicked and it's something
Yeah.
that you just have to be careful with. But yeah, so I just worked a lot on that kind of style with my coach Jeremy, and he teaches me a lot of cool stuff. So.
Have you done any Taekwondo?
No, no, man. I've never done taekwondo. It's
I'm a
kind of
yellow
more
belt,
like,
dog. I'm a yellow
yeah,
belt. Don't mess
yeah,
with me.
yeah, man.
I'll
I
I'll
don't, I don't, I don't want no problems, dude. I don't want no problems.
I could do
I
my
think it's
white
always,
belt form still.
yeah.
What's up?
I think it's always funny, dude. Like coming home too and seeing like old friends. They're like, hey, dude, like, I don't want to mess with. And I'm really just like not a confrontational dude now. Like I just chill, bro. Yeah, I used to be, I used to be when I thought I could fight back in the day. I used to be more of a confrontational guy, but now that I know how to fight, I'm like, I'm just chilling, dude.
Yeah. I think the more you're in the world of combat and like fighting and just seeing guys get hurt, it's eye opening to see how hurt you can actually get somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whereas like,
yeah,
nah, bro, I've seen the consequence to this, and we don't need to fight right now. You
yeah,
don't need that. I don't need that. Nobody needs it. And so it's always a guy who doesn't want to fight you need to be worried about. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
Um, Now let's do a little more forward. Let's wrap it up here with a
Okay.
question beyond MMA, beyond your career, fighting wise. Thinking about the legacy that you want to leave behind, slowly already creating one for yourself. But what do you want to be remembered as?
That's a good question, man. I just want to be remembered, as one of the as a great person, here for sure, a great person. I worked really hard the last couple years to fulfill that. I had to change a lot of my lifestyle up uh, a couple years back, and I just it I always just wondered like what I could do better, and I feel like helping other people and just setting a good example for even like our younger generation here or whatever, just being a good person is something that I really care to try to do. And and I just want to be great, dude. I want to be as great as I can at anything that I try to do. For me, it's my passion is MMA. My passion's fighting. As scary as it is, man, as scary as it is, I love it. I love the rush, and I've always loved it. And I knew I was gonna be great at something someday, whether it was wrestling or or whatever. But it's ending up that I'm figuring out it's MMA now. So hopefully, I can leave a legacy that's just like that dude's a badass and he's a good person.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking to Steven before we hopped on here. He was in the army. You were in the army. He's a little mad because this is the second time you're on with us, and he still can't talk to you. Um,
Oh yeah,
but
dang.
uh, and he's right now in the National Guard. He's doing some stuff out in, I think, Texas or something. So he hasn't been part of the podcast for, and he won't be for about a year. Um,
Oh,
but bringing yourself back to when you were younger, you were just a kid, and you were out there doing that stuff where he's like, bro, because I try to send him the link, and he's like, we got a mission we got to do right now. Kind of putting yourself back in that spot, like what are some of the words of advice that you would give to guys who are in the military, who are still trying to figure things out, trying to figure out their passion? What advice would you
oh,
give
dude.
them?
Uh, I would say no matter what, like just keep doing, like keep pursuing it every day. I was active duty, at this point. I was an active duty infantryman, so I did a lot. We went to the field a lot of stuff, a lot of strain on our bodies. But I wanted to be good at MMA, and I knew I wasn't going to do the infantry stuff my whole life. So I found a gym out there in Colorado, and I sacrificed a lot to go and train, dude. Like go and train and fight. When I did, I sacrificed a lot, and I asked, I thank the people that I worked with, like all the time, and I will forever be appreciative of them because they supported me in doing that. Um, but like I said, I got up every day with the mentality that I wanted to make it happen, and I did. I worked out after my workouts. After a long day of work, I didn't make any excuses, and I would go to the gym and go train or whatever it was. So, like some advice I would say is just to keep pushing forward, and don't doubt yourself, man. A lot of dudes in the military think that that's the only attribute that they have in this world is being in the army and being, or whatever their job is. But it's not. Once you get out, you have the whole world to pursue. You have everything in the palm of your hands. You're pretty set up to do it. You just have to go out there and take those steps. So I hope this and influences people that are in the military or getting out or whatever, to do that. Um, yeah, I hope I set a good example, man. That's kind of the point of that. I noticed it later on. I didn't notice what I was doing in the moment, but later on, all my friends in the military were like, "Dude, you're so like you're a badass. Like you're gonna go to the UFC, this and that." And it's a bold statement, man. But I believe it too. I believe that in myself that one day, eventually, I will make it to where I want to be as long as I just keep working every day for it. So
Cool,
yeah,
man. When are we going to see you in the cage again?
hopefully March.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully March. We'll take care of some little bumps and bruises that I got this weekend. But
Do you have
um,
anything on your arms, face? What's your
uh,
which one hurt the most on Sunday morning?
my foot, my left foot, but I kind of hurt that one every time I fight because I throw that couple leg kicks and I hit them with my foot on accident, and you're not supposed to hit it with like the top of your foot.
Right.
That's always the one that like the next day I can barely walk on it. So, but it's good now. It's starting to feel better. So yeah, my hand's a little jacked up, but we'll get that taken care of, and by March I should be fine. So
You're throwing some chingazos, dude. No, there's
yeah,
no,
dude.
of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. I got to
Well,
make it
thanks,
work,
man.
man.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Proud of you. We're keeping up with what you're doing. I'm glad we took this opportunity, just people to hear a little bit more in depth on who you are, what you do, and the human side of it as well. So, thank you for opening up with prayer. I know that was
yeah,
super important to you as well. I was super grateful that you had. I know social media, it could all be fluff, right? But you shared about how you had just been baptized um, when we had done the podcast, what, back in February. And
yeah,
so to just see you living your faith, praying for you, however that might look as time continues, because that's something else that we have to keep up with, right? So um, I'm excited to see where you go and what you do, and yeah. Anything else you want to leave us with?
yeah. No, I appreciate you for having me, man. This is awesome, and uh, I hope it just does good, and what you do good. I hope this blows up and you enjoy what you're doing, and it seems like it. So yeah, I hope that. Uh, and I also, I just want to say, like, everyone out there, you know, Jesus loves you. Since you wanted to say that my faith was something that I kept and I do every day. But yeah, look to God, and He'll lead you and He'll guide you on the path that He has set for you as well. So yeah,
Amen, brother. And new,
yes, Amen. Yes, and
and
you,
new,
yeah,
and now it's and still.
and still, yeah, it'll be and still. So we'll see you
Sweet.
guys in March too.
Later, y'all.
Good, later. Take it easy.